best of 3 are.
We are on the rise and ready for the first series of the day, and then day 2 of the VPL Summer Open here. And we got Anadoluk Gaming taking on Fyrn Skulblaka. Scoundrel, they got some fun names, and it looks like it's going to be a great day.
I'm going to find it very difficult to continue to pronounce those names as we go on, but regardless, a very aggressive start here by Fyrn. You can see them moving into that CP side jungle. Not yet had the response from Blue Squad. I've actually played with a couple of these guys in solo queue, Devo and Nice Atlas. I know both of these guys fairly well, have played them a few times, and they are decent players, so looking forward to this game.
All right, so if they get crushed, then we'll know where your true skill tier actually lies, huh?
Yeah, the trash tier of Vainglory bronze on EU.
Oh, my man. Well, you know what? This surely is going to be a good one. These teams are fired up, ready to go in here. A little aggression from Fyrn, as you said, to get in there. Nice, tight rotation, you might say.
Yeah, they pushed the wave in. They've responded now in kind. Interesting, let's have a look at the compositions now. We can kind of break these down to begin with. Kensei and Celeste, and that's with heavy support coming from the top lane Arden and the captain Adagio. What this tells me almost instantaneously, Humanist, is this is a super late game scaling team. They get this to the late game. I really don't think there's going to be much that Fyrn can do. Celeste is one of the best late game mages. Kensei can be almost unstoppable with the right support, and Arden and Adagio are great support for Kensei specifically. So this might be very tough. If they don't snowball this on the red side, I feel like this could go straight in favor of our Celeste and Kensei.
I think that makes sense. You probably want to put some pressure on. And as far as it goes, Anadoluk Gaming, that Glaive's definitely got to be a tool to get them to that late game. Hopefully he can put in a little more pressure, take a little more weight on his shoulders through the early mid game.
If anything, he can peel effectively for the Celeste in these mid-game team fights, because if you look at the Gwen, she's going to spike off 1 to 2 items. The problem with Gwen into the Arden matchup, the problem with anything into Arden is so hard to punish in the top lane because of his heroic perk, because of his shield, and he's got a great ultimate at level 6 to disengage. Ooh, nice stun in the mid lane, though.
A nice stun, and then there's Glaive right over the wall. Perfect positioning, and a first blood for Anadoluk to start things off.
That was a really good rotation from Vainglorious. That's actually his name. A really good rotation from Vainglorious up towards the middle side of the map here, because Kensei had backed. There was no point in him hanging around. He could have backed at the same time, but he saw an opportunity to move up that river and look for an afterburn gank. Really, really good stuff. And you can already see straight on the timings here for Devo. They want to get onto this CP buff as soon as possible.
All right, well, they're moving over, setting up Devo in position. And once again, Vainglorious moved down. He took the healing camp. Lorelei was trying to contest that, wasn't able to successfully do so. Vainglorious is setting Devo up, so he's going to make sure this is taken down nice and low. Devo doesn't have to spend a lot of time to move over and take this.
Yeah, and they'll be able to get the back camps here as well. Looks like Samuel's managed to get... Oh, has Samuel actually invaded that CP buff yet? It doesn't look like that. Oh, it went over to Malene, so the Malene's actually playing Malene jungle here. Obviously, the jungle role can be pretty much anything at this point in time because of the way that the jungle works. When you duo that bot lane, you actually don't need to have a traditional jungler. If you have a jungler like Malene who does fairly well in the mid-game on a sort of a medium to low-level gold input, you can actually pretty much play whatever you like in the jungle because you're just duoing that top side the entire time. So they're going with the Malene, which gives them a triple threat composition, and then you have the Lorelei, who could very well be going CP. That would be a very aggressive composition if she does go CP, and then you have that Churnwalker just to back them all up.
Do you think she should go for the CP?
No, I think she should go more utility focused. That would be my perfect response here. I would say both the Churnwalker and her need to act as that front line, and you have this high damage threat composition coming out from Fyrn with the Malene, the Gwen. They're going to spike really hard on 1 to 2 items. That's where they need to win the game, or at least get a significant advantage, Humanist.
All right, well, we'll see how that's going to play out right now. Rotation from Devo up to top. He will be rooted. Glade are able to get down a nice follow-up damage. Dorn forced back. Will be the boots on cooldown. So Devo moves up towards top with Yusuf, but they're not getting too much. I guess they're holding pressure in case, because the turret was dropping low. So that's probably the rotation. Then if they get a kill, that's like, just a little extra for them. But they hold the lane, and this is 4 from Fyrn. I don't know, unless a mistake is made, there shouldn't really be a kill here. Attendix in the Drifting Dark. They've got the damage. It looks like they're going to get a kill. Yeah, Adagio goes down. That'll put Fyrn on the board. And it felt like that was a kill that they could have avoided.
Yeah, it was a little bit of over-aggressive positioning coming out from the blue side. I think they could have just relaxed a bit more. They really didn't need to be super far up. It didn't look like there was going to be a major threat to that turret. What it has sort of allowed them to do, however, is they've saved that turret for a small time being, although it looks like with the Gwen and the Maline run up that there might not be for long. As long as you can protect that turret for the longest time possible, what they are trying to do is utilize the fact that the Lorelei has got way better wave clear than the Arden, even without Stormcrown. So the Lorelei is always going to be able to clear the waves against the Glaive and the Kensei because they need to commit themselves because they are melee heroes. Wait a second, Devo.
Devo, you are in incredibly deep. The Solar Storm almost enough to take the Samuel down, but he'll be just fine at this point. Vainglorious made the rotate up, and unfortunately, this is just Devo going down.
It's actually smart play from Fyrn so far, Humanist, because they had a double range in the top lane. They're just going to be very low here. Ava 1 manages to push the Samuel out, but while the action continues to go, I'll try and get this point out, Humanist. They're really smart because they had the double ranged in that top side of the map, which meant they were able to punish the Arden, take the turret really early, and that's going to allow them to rotate down towards Ghostwing more quickly and try to put pressure and force the blue squad to try and attack them at these objectives that they know they have the advantage at in the mid game. Because it's a double melee in the bot side of the map, it's really hard for them to push into a Lorelei who's got naturally pretty good wave clear. So that is why you're seeing that discrepancy. What I want to see now from Fyrn is to move down towards that Ghostwing, force the enemy to come towards them and try and force fights before we sort of let this game scale up too much.
Yeah, well, they definitely have to be near the bottom side of the map as far as Anadoluk at this point. Now, the pullback, Yusuf's in a bad place. He's taken down. And that was a very easy kill. Nice setup by Saphira.
Yeah, absolutely. And Saphira now looking to capitalize, push that advantage. The Kensei going to get rooted up.
Yeah, Kensei over the wall. He'll escape out of this one, but Ghostwing already taken down. Nice and low. Devo with Solar Storm. He's got it. Vainglorious over the wall. Maybe he didn't know his buddy just got it, but he'll go into his death. Hopefully they don't lose Devo. That would be a big problem here. And they'll lose Devo as well as Vainglorious, and it feels like something that could have been avoided.
Yeah, absolutely. But the main output from this, Humanist, is the fact that they did get that Ghostwing, a really big objective to make sure you don't give.
Oh, how you doing in here? Silver Skull, he's dropping low. They'll pull Adagio right back in. Him plus Aver 1, they're doing their best to hold this lane down. Nice Atlas, get in there, go get a kill. Go get a kill for yourself. Man, see Gauntlet come down under turret like that, no follow-up. What's going on here?
Well, the main damage dealers were kind of dead at this point. I think really what they were trying to do is protect that mid lane tier 1. The Arden's got the Storm Crown now. His wave clear is going to be adequate enough to do that kind of play.
This Kensei moved up from the lane. They had someone low. He didn't even check the bush. What's the point of the rotation if you're not even going to check?
Yeah, I agree. I think he could have been better off just staying bot and pushing that bot lane tier 1 down. Kensei also at this stage of the game sucks. I mean, Kensei really is not a one-item carry. He needs to have at least that breaking point online, a little bit of defense in his back pocket too, before we really start to see Kensei go to town on these games.
All right, well, we'll see how long before he starts to come online here. He's got the Serpent's Mask. Breaking point ready if he wants to drop over the shop. Grab that. You can see it. I mean, honestly, Silver Skull doing a good job in a 2v1 situation. It's like no problem. As you said, Lorelei just holds this lane down.
Yeah, Lorelei holds it down like a boss. I mean, the major damage that goes down towards these turrets usually in a 2v1 situation is before they pick up the Storm Crown. And a lot of these are sort of low wave clear type heroes. Adagio has got decentish wave clear, Arden has got decentness, but it's not good enough against 2 ranged especially. In this situation, 2 melee versus Lorelei, she's just going to stun you under turret. She's going to clear those waves really easily with her fish food. I mean, it's just so difficult to push into her in a 2v1 lane, and you're seeing that now. That global objective advantage is going to give Fyrn a small lead in this early game, but it is not by much. In fact, they're actually about 50 gold behind, which is insane given that they actually have those global objective advantages. I think it might have been that Ghostwing steal that's kept the squad of, I can't say the name properly, Anadoluk Gaming?
Anadoluk.
Right? Anadoluk Gaming. It's kept these guys in the running so far.
3 times in a row.
Anadoluk.
You got it.
Thanks, bud.
Yeah.
Ah, well, you know, I'm
together like as a team. You know what, bro? I'm your partner here. I'm your teammate right now, and it's my job to make sure that you're doing your best. Gauntlet comes down, a wild gauntlet, one might say, as Dorn giggles out towards the north side of that, and that's going to be a long cooldown. A tool that I'm sure Anadoluk Gaming would have liked to have at this point.
Yeah, it might come back to bite them, especially because there's a big mid lane siege going on right now. A lot of members committed to keeping this tier 1 turret in the mid alive. A lot of people might ask why you commit so much to try and defend a tier 1 in the mid. If that tier 1 goes down, oh, that's so much damage onto the Samuel.
That was tasty, huh?
It was, and that allows them now to go onto this enemy CP buff because they are low, the Samuel's low, and there's not much way to contest it. They are greedy, though. They're going to continue.
Nice afterburn. Maline drops into her shadow pool. She'll drop back into the lane. Saphira has Hook and Chains out onto the glaive. Moves forward. Nice trespass there to lock it down, but the verse turnaround will force Fyrn back. It looks like Adagio could be left for dead, as he wound up for that verse there, kind of static in his positioning. He gets himself out. It's going to be okay. Pretty crazy. No one dies at the end of that one.
Oh, look at this. They're going straight for Ghostwing. They have got the damage to do this super quickly, and I don't think the vision is there right now for Fyrn, and this is going to go away straight under their noses.
A nice take here. And Anadoluk, you know, they've made some mistakes through this early game. They got that nice, but that last series of engagement was pretty nice.
Absolutely, and now that they're committing more and more members again, like we were talking about why these tier 1 turrets are so easy and so important to defend. If you take down a tier 1 turret in the mid lane, it gives you easy and free access without anybody being able to see you, or without sort of fear of a turret dive reprisal, into both the weapon power and CP jungle. There is extra routes in there. It makes it much easier to invade. You can start to starve gold away from your opponents, and you can get a bit of deep vision down with another exit route. That's why these turrets are so important to defend.
Well, oh my goodness. Samuel burst down a little too far forward there. I had camera up in top. Avery 1 was in a 2v1 situation. The turret still will go down as he avoids that aces high, and it looks like the 4 of Anadoluk are going to collapse over. Oh man, he can't cancel the TP off, and Dorn doesn't have the angle. This is going to be a dead Maline, in fact. This is pretty
why do you use the gauntlet over and over again in that situation?
Someone clip that and tweet this guy and ask him.
You don't need to use the gauntlet there, guys. He was dead. It's overkill. But it's going to open up Blacklaw here with the Maline going down.
Maybe someone told him, like, you get extra passive gold when you throw gauntlet, so just throw it off cooldown no matter what.
I really love that ultimate from the Adagio, by the way. That just tried to zone any members across the wall away, also provide the burst damage to burst that Blacklaw down. This is good, clean stuff coming out from Anadoluk Gaming right now.
Just some good, clean fun out here in our first series of the day for the VPL Summer Open EU. But, you know, here's the thing, Scoundrel. These guys pushing right here. Well, afterburn in. Can they follow up on that Dorn? Incredibly low. Oh my goodness, even with a water wall. You can slice into dice. Glitch Glader able to turn it around. Gwen will get the kill, but the splash damage comes out over here on the Fyrn. You can't group up against Devoe like that. The Celeste about to burst you down. T2 turret has fallen. Blacklaw still pretty healthy, about 40% health at this point. Burn, baby, burn. Well, Helio's going supernova, forcing back everybody from Fyrn. Saphira's on the front side of the fight. You need to get back. Saphira dropping low. Saphira's down. Devoe's got it. They're on to the first base turret here now. And Ava 1 just tanking it up. Blacklaw drops. Ooh, look at that. Nice stun there. And let's see if Fyrn can potentially... Nah, they're not going to go for it. These guys just playing on from their backs.
Yeah, and I think at this point in the game, Humanist, we're entering 3-item territory. I mean, Celeste will be able to finish up her clockwork now. This is the point in the game where I'm scared if I'm Fyrn. You have lost your power spikes. You've gone a Frostburn Samuel, so your late game damage output is going to be limited. Your Gwen, although she has built a breaking point build, will not scale as hard as a traditional sort of scaling weapon power carry like the Vox. And Maline is also going to start to drop off towards the late game. Well, not so drop off, but isn't quite as effective in these long range engages as the Celeste has got. And you have to, with Maline, you have to kind of get up close and personal to your target. And versus an Adagio and an Arden, as well as a Kensei, where you'll be walking directly into him, that'll be hard.
Hook and chains onto 2, little torment love there. And it looks like Maline coming around trying to get onto Celeste as Kensei jumps into 3 or 4. He's taking a lot of damage. The verse comes out to the zone. They'll block it off. Kensei's back in. Kensei's alive. He's slicing and dicing for the Lotus Strike. But Yusuf able to get the kill. They lost Devoe. They lost Nice Atlas. And well, the fight collapsed on the back of this. Arden is the only one alive here. And he's got a gauntlet. You think he's going to throw it?
Well, he has been pretty much every other fight when it makes almost no difference.
You threw those other gauntlets, you can go through this! You take this! For EU!
For EU, man, and he didn't do it! That feels bad, man. I mean, you mean duck.
Dude. I was just taking a deep breath.
No, definitely. I think, you know, end of the day, what needs to happen now for this squad coming out from Anadoluk Gaming is they need to now start to group up together. They are going to get torn apart in a split push scenario. The only person that would be decent in a split push is the Kensei. Maybe the Glaive, but honestly, Kensei at this stage in the game is probably going to be better. Glaive has gone spell sword, so realistically, his damage output is going to be fairly limited. I want to see a full group teamfight situation. A Kensei with an Adagio and an Arden is really strong.
Yeah, they completely split apart, dude.
This is the time where you use the gauntlet to escape, Arden.
Don't.
Oh, he gets pulled back!
Oh, he used it.
He was waiting for it. That Saphira waiting for the pull.
You're on someone else's highlight reel now. You are infamous.
Oh, that was such a nice pull from Saphira. I don't think the gauntlet was going to save him regardless. They had the crucibles, but yeah. Oh
man, yeah. You got it.
I liked it. There we go. And it is going to be a fountain coming out now for Silver Skull. So it is going to be that support style, the double support style composition coming out with the Churnwalker and the Lorelei. They do really have enough damage, and it's all about the engage for them. So I'd love to see something like a Pulse Weave come out on the Churnwalker to give them an extra element of engage, which I think they're desperately needing.
Yeah, I think that would be great. He's done a great job to be on the front side. Now he find the stun onto DeVoe. That's the key target. Didn't even need the multiple hook and chains.
Oh, Kensei!
Big crit damage! Kensei plus the Glaive just tearing through over here. Now Glaive with the Kensei, they stay onto the backside of Fyrn, but Glade are doing a good job almost taking down Adagio. The drop back, the peel by the Glaive, that's exactly what you said. He will go down, but able to find the return kill as well. Kensei, Glaive getting in deep. This is two fights once again. I gotta give credit to Fyrn. They're splitting these fights apart.
Well, no, they are diving the Celeste in the backline with this Gwen, who is bursting her very quickly. If anything, I could see the reflex block coming out for DeVoe. I think that's an okay item, but honestly, I think Slumbering Husk is just better in this situation. You have got these guys diving you, even just the Gwen, even though she's obviously not built for her burst damage right now. She's just diving in on you and blowing you up. Have that Slumbering Husk. Give yourself a bit more time to reposition. The problem with what's happening in these team fights is ideally you want the Adagio and the Arden supporting the Kensei, who's just going to go to town on your backline. But right now, you've got a lot of those protecting the Celeste, who's getting blown up very quickly. So yeah, I think it's just an awkward teamfight situation right now for Anadoluk, because they really want to have everything working in synchrony, where you have a very aggressive maneuver with the Kensei, and then Celeste is just kind of on the backline untouched. But like you said, Fyrn splitting their teamfight up, making it very difficult for Anadoluk to select targets, and that is making it much, much easier for them to come away even if not winning these teamfights.
Fyrn currently up 14-9, 18 minutes in, but as you look at the net worth, there's a slight lead actually over to Anadoluk Gaming. This game could go either way. This is a great matchup thus far. Ghostwing captured his Glaive, will secure the last hit. Saphira, little hook and chain love on the front side of that one. Solar Storm will connect onto 3. Actually procs off the Slumbering Husk on Glader on the back of that.
That's not bad, actually. And with the weapon power buff now going over with Nice Atlas, also picking up an infusion, this is kind of prime time to search for a fight. You have got a very strong Kensei. He's got 2 defensive items. He's got a Blazing Salvo finish with an Atlas, with a infusion and that weapon power buff. I mean, I'd be forcing Blacklaw. I'd be diving in. I'd be finding fights at this point in time.
I know you would. I know you would, Scoundrel. Hook and chains. We'll go on to Yusuf, broken though, as Kensei's in, he's on to Glader. Now Glader can't dive because Kensei's diving. Jump in from Glaive. That's the gauntlet. I wish it was a little farther back, but the best gauntlet we've seen so far. Fyrn forced back, trying to fall back. Kite apply some damage. Now into the choke point. They turn around with a little splash of their own here. Nice job from Samuel in the Drifting Dark. The Malice inverts as well, but Glader, he's in a little too deep and absolutely blown to smithereens. They will lose 2 as Anadoluk force them back, flexing on them.
Yeah, and you could see, I was following Kensei that fight. He zoned out both the Maline and the Gwen from getting to the backline near the Celeste. And that was the right decision, because no one else is able there to defend. Sorry, no one else is able to pressure Celeste. And it was very difficult for the Fyrn squad to be able to split the pressure like they have done previously. That's what I want to see. I think the Gwen is the primary target for me if you're Kensei. No one else is going to be easily threatening the Celeste. Obviously, the Maline can, but she's a little bit shorter range and obviously skill shot dependent. Gwen can just tap on Celeste's heads and kill her. So I like that. That's what I want to see Nice Atlas doing in these fights. Straight for that Gwen, pressure her so she can't pressure the Celeste.
Nice Atlas, 8 breaking point stacks already. Look at this guy going to town. And there's so much fear coming out of Fyrn. All of a sudden, nice Atlas in deep one more time. Stunned up from the fish food as they'll turn it around, but he just gets boosted right into this fight. Turrets down, there's the gauntlet. 3-man stun coming out here. Who is this guy? I've never seen such a good gauntlet come out there. I have, because I'm an ardent player myself. Though we'll go ahead and take the armory. Black Claw, incredibly healthy. And it looks like Anadoluk are gonna think about backing, but turn it around. Core collapse, jump in onto Saphira. Can they blow up this Turnwalker? Turnwalker stays alive through this. A potential chance to turn it around with the damage coming out of the Samuel. They might be able to do it. They lost Yusuf on Anadoluk. They'll lose 3, all of a sudden dropping like flies. Everyone, he'll give the boost Vanguard over to his buddy, but not going to be enough. And at the end of the day, it is the ace coming out. As Anadoluk slightly misplay here, Fyrn capitalize on it and will stay alive.
Anadoluk just not able to commit to a singular objective in that fight. Do we take the Vein Crystal? Do we go for a long-range fight? Are we going to dive in? And Nice Atlas was split very heavily between diving in as the Kensei or trying to just wait for the prime opportunity. He kind of face tanked about 4 or 5 Malice of Verdicts with that Frostburn, which put him in a really awkward position. And now Fyrn have an opportunity. They have a big wave in the bot lane. If you have a look, that's going to take down... Yeah, they're losing that turret, dude. That's an opening now in the future. That is an opening here for Fyrn to be able to then go for that and try and take the Vein Crystal afterwards. So one more fight, they could push straight down bot, take that armory, and get the Vein Crystal.
Huge swing here, and that Solar Storm had decent timing. Was off the mark, or unless he was just checking for Crystal Tree, and I don't know what's going on. Either way, 22 minutes in, go swing taken by Fyrn. A bit of a swing back the other way. Fyrn actually has the net worth advantage, just barely, but this is the first point in the game, I think.
Yeah, this is a really, really close game, and this is the first time, like you said, that Fyrn have managed to take themselves and put them in the lead. Devoted by himself right now, he has to be so careful. He might be quite out of position.
Oh, ace is high, just tickling him on the edge there. He felt the wind of that card almost connecting onto those luscious long braids. Solar Storm will come through. Lorelei tanks that up, no problem for the tanky water mermaid. She'll go ahead and get herself out of here, but yeah, things to slow down a little bit. You can see, oh, it has been a catch. Aver 1, this guy just throws gauntlets, I gotta say. And that, you know, nothing really wrong with that. They will get the kill. That's an important kill. Now we're 5 versus 4 on the map.
If you don't take the shot, mate, you'll never hit. So that's kind of what the Arden philosophy is in this game. Just slam those gauntlets down. There's potential stopping of the backs there from Devo. He wants to make sure they can find a catch-up onto the Fyrn squad. They're trying to go for an end. A risky play, in my opinion, because even in a 4 versus 5, you still have to contend with that Vein Crystal damage. And Nice Atlas is going to be the first one to start to take it. Are they just going to rush it? Yes, they are. They're rushing it.
Oh, dude, this is easy Kotka, right? This is gonna go down. They're on the Vein. I mean, they're locked on. This is Kensei. He's got the damage apparently. Devo is down. Kensei will fall at the same time. The Vein Crystal explodes, and Anadoluk Gaming, while down 12-21 in the kill score, will take the victory here in game 1 in our first series of the day at 23 minutes and 45 seconds in for a very fun match.
Yeah, that was a decently long match, and I think one of the main issues that we just let the Kensei Celeste competition get too late. Team fights started to go in their favor. They didn't capitalize early enough in the mid-game, Humanist.
All right, well, to break that down a little bit more, we'll throw it back over to Tasty Bacon and Lunchables.
All right, Anadoluk Gaming get it in the end, 12